How's it going, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? My name is Prodigy, and welcome to another Kingdom Hearts video on the channel. Today, guys, we are only 8 days, pretty much, from Kingdom Hearts 3 ReMIND, and that is absolutely insane. Like, it's crazy how close we are to ReMIND now. We're just a little bit over a week away. And once again, I'm going to reiterate this in almost every video going forward, leading into ReMIND. I will be doing a day 1 at midnight live stream of ReMIND. I plan on streaming it all the way until I complete it, and I'll probably be doing tons of replaythroughs of it and stuff in that stream, like level 1s or doing certain challenges. It's going to be a big live stream that I plan to have be around 12 to 24 hours, however long or how much I feel like going on for, but it's going to be a really long live stream. It's going to go from midnight probably to the morning, early morning, maybe into that day's afternoon, and I hope to see you guys come out to it. But for today's video, we're going to be talking about something that I haven't talked about fully, or I haven't dedicated a whole video to in the ReMIND trailer, and that is about Scala at Caelum being expanded. Now, this for some people was like the biggest thing they revealed. This is definitely one of the biggest things they revealed in the ReMIND trailer, but for me, I was way more excited about things like Kairi being playable, or Yozora, or the data fights in general. Scala at Caelum kind of was something that was like a little bit on the back burner for me, especially the Yozora and Kairi thing. Like, I did not expect Kairi to be playable at all in ReMIND, and I definitely wasn't expecting Yozora to really have any major role, at least. But Scala at Caelum being expanded is still very awesome. I made a video about this, I believe, around summer, where I talked about the possibilities of Scala at Caelum being expanded, and about like the build up to it, the community's frustrations, and so on and so forth. It was basically a video of me talking about Scala at Caelum itself, and if it would be expanded into ReMIND or not. I believe I gave like a sort of mixed answer, like, yes, it's possible, but I won't be expecting it, sort of thing. But we do have it now, and that is amazing. That is great. Fans have been begging for this, and I and many others are so happy that it's happening. Like, I'm expecting this Scala at Caelum to not necessarily be an expanded version of the world that we go into going into the final battle. I'm not expecting them to really change that entire setup, but I think this is more so a post-game thing based off of my just guesses, pretty much. No real evidence to support that, just pure guesses. I feel like this is going to be a Cavern of Remembrance 2.0 type of situation. Reason I compare it to Cavern of Remembrance, even though it's going to be nothing like it at all, is because Cavern of Remembrance kind of served as a sort of dungeon for the data bosses in Kingdom Hearts 2, and I believe Scala at Caelum is a perfect way to do that for Kingdom Hearts 3's quote data battles. The reason I call them data battles, by the way, is because that's the closest thing to compare them to, though they might be called ReMIND battles or something weird, replica bosses, I don't know. Actually, as I'm recording this, evidence that I can't think up to support this is the arenas that all of the data battles are on. They are all on new arenas, and they all have these really cool looking backgrounds that it seems like the developers made so they can adjust them like as they want to for each fight, which is really cool. But the arenas, like in their base form, what I'm going to assume they are, have a very similar like sort of pattern and kind of aesthetic that the entirety of the Scala at Caelum world does. And if these are like where the data fights are going to be taking place, then it would make sense for them to be in Scala at Caelum. So that could be evidence or somewhat clues to point towards that. Now, how are they going to do this though? Like, is it going to be some separate, completely separate area of Scala at Caelum that you access via like a battle portal or something? Or are they going to open up some other pathway like in the Scala at Caelum, like you visit like at the end of the game? Because in the end of the game version of it, like the area you're dropped off at, literally if you walk forward, as soon as you walk through those like gates, you're put right into a boss battle. It's very hard to see how they could possibly make it so that you can move around and like go to separate areas without you activating the boss, unless they change the entire way that happened, which I'm not expecting them to, because ReMIND is not rewriting Kingdom Hearts 3's ending like a lot of people think. That is a very big misconception. All the new story happening in ReMIND is pretty much post-game stuff. Now, the interest in Scala at Caelum being expanded is because, well, in Cavern of Remembrance in Kingdom Hearts 2, we never really got full elaborations on what that was exactly, like how it came to be, what purpose it served, etc, etc. I'm sure there's probably something I can dig up in like secret reports or old interviews from Nomura about that isn't explained in the games, but in the games they do not explain what the Cabinet of Remembrance really is. But the difference between that and Scala at Caelum is that Scala is something that just straight up right off the bat, it's the first thing you see when you open up Kingdom Hearts 3 in that cutscene with Xehanort and Ericus. And we know from Xehanort reports, from those cutscenes, the chess game cutscenes, and from Nomura's interviews like themselves, that Scala is definitely going to play a purpose in the future of Kingdom Hearts, or rather not the future, but it's going to be a big piece of lore that's going to be like unveiled to us from the past. Xehanort and Ericus's history is something that is so interesting, that's something that a lot of people really just want to know about. I really want to know about. I've made countless videos talking about how I'm so interested in what Xehanort and Ericus like were up to. I made a whole video talking about did Ericus and Xehanort read the Book of Prophecies that I really think you should check out, because I put a lot of work into that video and I really loved the way it came out, and I really just think you guys would find that interesting. So if you want to watch that video, click above. But I made countless videos, like I said, just talking about them, rambling about them, just going crazy, being a fanboy, like about how much I love those characters and how much I would love for them to have their own game or have their own something. That was actually one of the biggest things people wanted out of Kingdom Hearts 3, like in its very early on stages. When we were still theorizing about what the game would be like, we barely saw anything. We only had like 3 trailers for Kingdom Hearts 3, and we saw that E3 2015 trailer where Xehanort and Ericus were playing the chess game with the cool Rage Awaken theme. A lot of people were theorizing like, okay, maybe this is something that takes place in the beginning of the game. Actually, Nomura did say that himself, that took place at the beginning of the game, which it did end up happening, but a lot of people were theorizing, you know what if similar to Kingdom Hearts 2 with Roxas, what if we start off Kingdom Hearts 3 with young Xehanort and Ericus as their training, and then we transition to something else. Obviously that did not happen, and it's understandable why it didn't, because to be honest, it probably would not have had anything to do with the lore of Kingdom Hearts 3. I mean, the chess game itself is extremely vague and is more symbolism than anything else. So I definitely think something like that, like for Xehanort and Ericus to be playable, that should probably be in its own game, rather than like a beginning segment or tutorial for Kingdom Hearts 3. Scala is just such an interesting world, being the world Xehanort and Ericus were trained in, and not to mention a broken Daybreak Town clock tower being seen under it. It's a world that I'm sure is filled to the brims with lore, which I'm not expecting to get a full backstory of in ReMIND. Like, I'm not expecting them to spill the entire can of beans, like, of Scala and Caelum's lore and history in just that one little section of the game, because they have to save something for future Kingdom Hearts games, future prequels, or even Kingdom Hearts Union Cross. But I know that this is going to give us something, and it's going to be something that's going to be talked about forever, like, leading into the next Kingdom Hearts game, because people, like, even just off of the little bit of Scala we got in Kingdom Hearts 3, people have been spending hours, people have been spending the past year actually, because it's almost been a year since Kingdom Hearts 3 release, trying to decode a decent amount of the Scala and Caelum language. Yes, there's people doing that. Some people have figured out some of the stuff actually. Might cover all that in a future video, but just based on things like that, being able to explore more of this world will definitely fuel a lot of theories people have, and maybe even help some people decode the text better. And just being able to explore this mysterious world will provide a certain sense of immersion that I really just love about the Kingdom Hearts series, though maybe to levels we've never even like seen before, because Scala easily is one of the most beautiful looking worlds in the entire Kingdom Hearts series, which is probably why a lot of people are as upset, or were as upset as they were, that it was as short or as small as it was. It wasn't really a world. It's kind of weird to call it a world in Kingdom Hearts 3, because it's not even like a separate world you go to visit like Keyblade Graveyard or the rest of the Disney worlds. It's literally a part of Keyblade Graveyard. It's a section of Keylade Graveyard you can fast travel to. So it's really, really weird. I wonder how they're going to do it, because in Kingdom Hearts 2, you had the absent silhouettes, which were also added via Final Mix. Those bosses being semi-new bosses that you fought in Rechain of Memories, but of course under a way different combat system in Kingdom Hearts 2. And those bosses were extremely fun, and if you didn't fight those bosses, if you didn't beat all the absent silhouettes, you actually wouldn't be able to fight the data version of that boss, because it makes sense, right? You have to defeat the lower level version of the boss before you're able to fight the beefed up version. But with Keylade Graveyard, you're forced to beat every single fight. So are they going to give you all those fights like right out the gates, or are you going to have to unlock them via some weird like sort of exploration thing? Maybe you go out throughout Scala and there's certain areas of Scala at Caelum that have those fights rather than them all being in one specific room. That would definitely be very interesting. I'm just really curious as to how they're going to do it, because like this world is so mysterious, and the mystery aspect this world has means they can be as creative as they want. Now, I'm not expecting them, like I said, to go completely crazy. I'm not expecting Scala to be as expansive as a full world in Kingdom Hearts 3. I'm expecting very minimal, to be honest, because I still kind of think that Nomura wants to save a little bit of what Scala has to offer, the lore, the full context for other Kingdom Hearts games. But I definitely think this is to provide us a even greater tease for what's to come. So I wonder like how much they're going to give us, how little they're going to give us, and like how they're just going to go about certain things. It's really fascinating. Scala being expanded is so awesome, and I cannot wait for it in ReMIND. I am so happy that they have done this. Like, they really are going above and beyond with this DLC, and this is just one of the many things that I'm just looking forward to, that I can't wait to experience with you guys, because I will be doing ReMIND blind on live stream. It's going to be really cool. It's going to be really awesome. I cannot wait for this DLC, and it's only 8 days away for some of you watching this video, maybe even less than that, which is even more exciting. But thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed, you already know what to do. Leave a like, share the video with a friend or a family member, and last but not least, if you have not already and want to become a part of the union, all you have to do is hit that red little subscribe button down below. My name is Prodigy, and I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out.